Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is your boy. It is your boy Darion of the Darion Hopkins Show, and I'm your host, Darion of the Darion Hopkins Show. Shout out to everybody for being here, man. I am so happy that I'm able to give y'all this morning show. We have a lot to talk about here. We have a lot to talk about here. So give me 1 second while I get this all straightened out right here. So we having a little technical difficulties at this moment when it comes to my camera. So hopefully this can stay the way it stays, ladies and gentlemen. But let me know what y'all thinking, man. Let me know what y'all thinking. Let me know if I'm having any issues as far as my camera, buffering. Let me know what y'all think, man. Let me know what y'all think. But I'm definitely in the building for a great action-packed show here over here at the Darion Hopkins Show. Over the weekend, I have to say that we did have an amazing live streams when it comes to the NBA playoffs. We did have a lot of great stuff going on. You know, the Warriors and Kings game was absolutely amazing. We had some great other things going on here with a live play-by-play and reactions, which it will continue tonight right here on the Darion Hopkins Show. And I am so blessed and I am so happy to be able to give y'all the Darion Hopkins Show. Episode 13 is definitely in the building. Episode 13 is definitely in the building. So thank y'all so much for being here on this show. And before we get into anything, make sure y'all hit the like button on YouTube because we are live on YouTube and Facebook as well. Hit the like button on YouTube and definitely like the page of the Darion Hopkins Show on the Facebook page. And I am on my personal page, which is Sunny Hopkins as well. But if you do want to follow me on all social medias, ladies and gentlemen, you can follow me on all social medias at Twitter, Instagram, everywhere at The Hopkins Show. And before we get into this is a sponsored show by SeatGeek. So use the promo code D Hopkins when you actually go into SeatGeek if you want to go to a live event, if you want to go to a sporting event, if you want to go to anything of that nature, make sure you go to SeatGeek.com and use the promo code D Hopkins and get $20 off your first purchase, ladies and gentlemen. $20 off your first purchase right here at the D Hopkins Show, and use that promo code D Hopkins, which you will see at the bottom right here, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure y'all hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And I'm happy to do this show with y'all. And it's been a while since I've done this show, so I'm probably a little rusty again, but let's get straight into it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get straight into it, and we're going to talk about it here. The NBA. The NBA was absolutely a great weekend for the NBA playoffs. We finally got our 8 teams on the Eastern Conference. We finally got our 8 teams on the Western Conference, and I am excited for the NBA playoffs. And I did majority of the games. I didn't do all the games this weekend, but I did majority of the games this weekend. And this is called an overreaction Monday of the game ones of all the playoff games. I'm not going to really talk about the play-in games like that due to the fact that it was a lot of games going on this weekend. In the play-in games they got in, you know, the Miami Heat, congratulations to them. They was able to get in. And shout out to everybody that was able to get in from the play-in at Minnesota Timberwolves and stuff of that nature. But the 2022 to 2023 NBA playoffs is definitely here after heavy teams showed why their higher seeds Saturday and the lower seeds struck back on Sunday. In the Eastern Conference, and the Philadelphia 76ers and the Boston Celtics opened their series respectively, blowing out their teams, the Brooklyn Nets and the Atlanta Hawks. Now, we do have some indication when it comes to the Eastern Conference, where I think is the best series in the Eastern Conference, which is the New York Knicks and the Cleveland Cavaliers, which that's going to be a great series to keep coming on. It's going to be a great series when it comes to that. So me personally, I see this. Over in the West, the Sacramento Kings and the Warriors had the best game of the weekend. They absolutely, the Western Conference, outside of the New York Knicks and the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Western Conference has some great games outside of, you know, the Nuggets blowing out the Timberwolves, which I really expected. I expected that. So absolutely, I expected that when it came to it. So when it comes down to it, for the long-awaited season, the Miami Heat definitely got a win over Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks, but we don't know the status of Giannis Antetokounmpo as well. The Los Angeles Clippers, they go in and beat the Phoenix Suns. That was a very interesting game as well. Very interesting game. What's going on, Nathaniel? What's going on, Jane? What's going on, Arku? Thank y'all for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. There's one lower seed that seemed to struggle yesterday. Yeah, and that was the Minnesota Timberwolves. They struggled. They struggled against the Denver Nuggets and, the Denver Nuggets and Miami Heat and the Milwaukee Bucks. NBA reporters watched it all. So here is a few takeaways that I have from this, a few takeaways that I have personally when it comes to this game here. Now, let's go into the first game of the playoffs, which is my Philadelphia 76ers going up against the Brooklyn Nets. Now, there is a good chance that the Sixers star Joel Embiid will be named the most valuable player. We all know this by now. We all know this. But the matchup against the Brooklyn Nets' undersized front line is arguably the biggest advantage that any team has in the first round of the playoffs when it comes to the Philadelphia 76ers. But despite all that, the most important thing to watch in this Nets and 76ers series is how James Harden plays. And going up against the Brooklyn combination, along with a rangy premier players, but good or lesser, that I have to say the version of James Harden definitely came out. We saw regular season James Harden in this first game against the Brooklyn Nets, where, in the first half, he finished with 23 points, 13 assists, and a 20-point victory, including 7 of 13 from 3. And it was a 2-point shooting that was especially concerning in the signs of potential of brewing. But I have to say that Mikal Bridges he put on a show in the playoffs. He definitely put on a show. I have to say this. He definitely put on a show when it came down to the Brooklyn Nets. Spencer Dinwiddie put on a show. But that's all that really they got help from. They really didn't get any help from anybody else. Mikal Bridges was the show in the first half for that Brooklyn Nets and 76ers game, and we had no answer for him. As a Philadelphia 76ers fan, we had no answer for Mikal Bridges. And Mikal Bridges is a Philadelphia native, and we did draft him and then traded him to Phoenix, and then he gets traded to the Brooklyn Nets. I could completely understand why. I don't understand why the Suns would trade a caliber player in Mikal Bridges. That just doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make no sense to me when it comes to the Brooklyn Nets. To the Phoenix Suns. But hey, you wanted to get Kevin Durant there, and that's why, Kevin Durant is in Phoenix. If you get what I'm saying there. So basically, when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, I have to say this, and I really have to say this, is that when it comes down to it, the 76ers are going to dominate this series. Joel Embiid had himself a great game. James Harden had himself a great game. We had a great shooting performance as a basketball team overall for the Philadelphia 76ers. And they will play tonight, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, and I will be live for that, for the live play-by-play and reactions for that. So absolutely, I will be there. So when it comes down to it, the Philadelphia 76ers, they shot really well in this game. And I'm not going to overreact yet, because this is the NBA at the end of the day. So the NBA is going to have some concernings when it comes to the first rounds. But I feel like the Philadelphia 76ers could definitely do their job and definitely do what's best for them when it comes to this game. And I think the Sixers could definitely go up 2-0 going into tonight's game. I think they could definitely go into 2-0. Now let's talk about the Boston Celtics and the Atlanta Hawks. Now, I really thought this one was kind of the worst games that I've seen outside of the Denver Nuggets and the Minnesota Timberwolves, which I will get into that as well. Now, I have to say, when it comes to this game, honestly, the Boston Celtics not letting up, but they got to do better. They got to do better, because you had a 30-point lead and you only won by 12. You can't win like that. You just can't win like that. And you let up. It was very impressive first half performance in Saturday night's game. It was a first half performance. You had, the Hawks was shooting 33% from the field, 16 of 48 in the first half. And Boston allowed Atlanta to stage a relatively comeback in the final 24 minutes. Unacceptable from the Boston Celtics. Ultimately, 30 points, the Boston Celtics' biggest first half postseason since game 1 of the 1985 finals against the Los Angeles Lakers, was too high. Too high. But my problem is this. And this is my biggest issue with a few things. And I'm gonna get back to it. Just give me 1 second here, y'all. I know my camera came off, so I gotta, fix my camera real quick. So just bear with me, y'all. Just bear with me. All right, so here we go. So when it comes down to it, man, it comes down to the Boston Celtics. Yes, Jason Tatum had a hell of a game. Jaylen Brown led the team. I think he had like 30 points, if I'm not mistaken. But the Boston Celtics have to do better. If you want to close out the Atlanta Hawks, you cannot let them come back in games like that. You dominated the game from top to bottom. Top to bottom, you dominated. Oh my God, this damn camera. Top to bottom, you dominated. And this is what you do. You give us a hard time. You give us a hard time. And that's been the biggest issue when it came down to the Boston Celtics. You let the Atlanta Hawks hang around. You're one of the most deepest teams in the NBA, and you let the Atlanta Hawks team that really only has DeJounte Murray and Trae Young come out and defeat you. And I mean, Bojan Bogdanovic had a good game too as well. I'm not going to expedite him as well. I'm not going to do that. But the Boston Celtics got to keep the foot on the gas if you want to have an early first round series. You got to keep the foot on the gas. There's no way that they're up. You're up almost 40 points and then win by 12. That's just unacceptable. But the Boston Celtics definitely got the win. They got the win and they got the W. But we just can't. The Boston Celtics just can't fall off. They can't fall off on offense, and they can't be lazy on defense. So the Boston Celtics have to play better, but they did get the win. But I still think the Boston Celtics can sweep the Atlanta Hawks. Definitely still can see that. Now let's go to this game. This was one of the best games for Saturday night, in my opinion. One of the best games for Saturday night, and that was the Cleveland Cavaliers and the New York Knicks. The best Eastern Conference game that I've seen in a while. And I think this is the best series in the Eastern Conference between the 4 and the 5. I think this is the best series in the Eastern Conference. And the Cleveland Cavaliers have a big heart leading them into this series. Beating Donovan Mitchell in that Cleveland Cavaliers team. Beating them in a special kind of way that thrives in Tom Thibodeau's system. They got to be hard-nosed, tough, and resilient. But most importantly, they got the help of a veteran coach win. Now, the New York Knicks are full of Tibbs guys, but Saturday night, a veteran guard not only scored 17 points, but grabbed 10 rebounds in 33 minutes. 33 minutes off the bench. And he hit his biggest shot of the night of the three-pointer with 1:49 left after it appeared that the Cavs might steal this game. And Jalen Brunson, I'm sorry to say, but the guy is a dog. The guy is a dog. You can't tell me nothing when it comes to Jalen Brunson. You can't tell me nothing. And Thibodeau had these guys playing. Julius Randle had a game-winning offensive rebound. And that's why Cleveland lost this game, because of their offensive rebounding. But Jalen Brunson showed why he was one of the top free agents. One of the top free agents in basketball, and why the Knicks went out and got him and not get Donovan Mitchell. Which, just imagine if they would have got Donovan Mitchell and Jalen Brunson on his basketball team. Just imagine that. That would have been nasty. But according to Luol Deng, that's a part of his staff, he says there's no agenda other than winning with him. It's wondering that Thibodeau has made his way as a Rockets Mortgage Fieldhouse late Saturday. He compared Hart to another all-time Thibodeau favorite in the way that both players are finding the way to help the teams. Luol Deng. That's what he considered Josh Hart is. So former Chicago Bulls became a member of the respected Thibodeau's inner circle, in a little scoring and a little defense, but a little bit of everything. Now, Deng gave Thibodeau the Bulls that he had to offer the coach, and Hart provides the same type of lift for the New York Knicks. But Hart had made some great shots. This New York Knicks team is really, really good. This New York Knicks team is really, really fast. But hey, what's going on? Raja, what's going on, everybody in the chat? Shout out to everybody that's in the chat for this live stream. And just to let y'all know that this is the best series in the East. This is the best series in the East. I'm looking forward to doing more live streams of this, and I'm looking forward to a great series between the Cleveland Cavaliers and the New York Knicks. Now I have to say Donovan Mitchell put up a 40-burger on these New York Knicks defense, but it just wasn't enough. Darius Garland got to play better. Mobley has to play better. He needs his supporting cast to help, because putting up 40 in a playoff game and not really having a good supporting cast, he's going to need help. If you want to win this series, Cleveland, you're going to have to need your supporting cast to step up against the New York Knicks, because that's what happened with the New York Knicks. They supporting cast helped out Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle with Quickly and Obi Toppin and them guys. Everybody stepped up. Everybody stepped up and played their part. And that's exactly what happened today. On Saturday. That's what happened. That's why the Knicks are up 1. But it's unreal to say that Jalen Brunson had a hell of a performance. Had a hell of a performance. Way to debut in your time. Way to debut in your time when you left Dallas and got to the Western Conference Finals with them last year, and now you're here. It's all about that orange and blue, man. The orange and blue sky. I like this series. I definitely like this series going in. But the game of the weekend, ladies and gentlemen, the game of the weekend was the Sacramento Kings and the Golden State Warriors, the best game of the playoffs of the whole weekend. I'm sorry to say. I did that game and I almost got 10,000 views on that game. It was amazing. One of the best shooting performances, one of the best performances by a Kings team that I've seen in a long time. And I loved it. Sacramento Kings and Golden State Warriors put on a playoff game for the ages, which I thought it was going to never end. I thought it was going to never end because of the fact that I felt like this game was going to go into overtime. I thought the game was going to go into overtime, and it didn't. It didn't at all. But Sacramento Kings, 87 miles away from San Francisco, and they go out and they ball out at home. It's been 16 years since the Sacramento Kings had a playoff game in their arena. We see some of the old school King players even there. That makes it even better. That makes it even more greater. And it was so much fun to watch. I got almost 10,000 views on that live stream, and I will be doing that game tonight as well. So you do not want to miss it right here on the Darion Hopkins Show. You do not want to miss it. Because the Sacramento Kings, let me tell you a little bit about them, man. I think that's the highest scoring game in playoffs in the last weekend. Shout out to Anthony Price for being in every live stream. I really do appreciate the brother, man. I really do appreciate the brother. But I got to say, it was Malik Monk, De'Aaron Fox. Y'all led the way for the Sacramento Kings team. We all know what the Golden State Warriors do. We all know what Jordan Poole do. We all know what Steph Curry do. We all know what Draymond Green can do. We all know what Klay Thompson can do. We know what the Warriors do because they are the defending champions. They are the defending NBA champions as the number 6 seed. But this Sacramento Kings team is going to fight. They're going to go down without a fight. And I'm going to tell you that right now. Because De'Aaron Fox is a star. He is a star in his league. Malik Monk, I don't know why Malik Monk is coming off the bench. I just don't know why. That man had, 30 off the bench? He had himself a game against the Golden State Warriors. And that game was tremendous. But you had Lynn, you had Harrison Barnes, you had all these other guys that was with the Sacramento Kings, and they stepped up. But De'Aaron Fox in that third and fourth quarter, you couldn't tell that man anything. But you couldn't tell Steph Curry nothing either because it was back and forth. It was back and forth. And I gotta say it. This is not going to be a walk in the park series for the Golden State Warriors to defend their title. This is not going to be a walk in the park. I'm sorry to say. I know you're going to have a hard time keeping up with Curry. It's going to be a hard time keeping up with Curry because that man is moving every single time. That man stay running around the floor. I'll be tired too. My fat behind be like, take me out the game. Take me out the game. That's just me. It's a hard time defending Curry when that man can do it all. He could drive to the basket. He could move without the basketball. We all know that he's a threat as a shooter. We all knows that. One of the greatest shooters to ever play this game. We know that about Steph Curry. It doesn't matter who it is. I don't care if you're the best defender in the NBA. You're still going to have a hard time defending Stephen Curry. You're going to have a hard time. Stephen Curry is going to get his numbers win, lose, or draw. We all know that by now. We know this. But I'm not giving up on the Sacramento Kings right now. I'm just not. I'm just not giving up on the Sacramento Kings. I can't do it. I can't do it. Sacramento Kings are going to battle it out. The Warriors might take tonight's game, but it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be a blowout. We're going to have another epic game tonight. I feel it. I just feel it in my heart. I feel it in my soul that we're going to have another epic game tonight. But to recap this game, man, Saturday night donned the blue and gold. Instead of the sea of the white t-shirts filled the roar. I have to say that they had to like the beam. They had to like the beam, man. They had to do that. They had to like the beam. But I got to move on. But I can't wait to do that Sacramento Kings game and Golden State Warriors game. I cannot wait to do it. Cannot wait to do it. What we learned from the number 2 Memphis Grizzlies and the Los Angeles Lakers. Rudy Hachimura, he's up off the bench just like we planned. This is why the Los Angeles Lakers went out and made the moves that they made during the trade deadline. This is why they did it. They made mad moves to get Vincent, to get Hachimura. Then you had Austin Reeves. They all stepped up. The Lakers had 4 players in double figures. And Hachimura led them with 29 points off the bench. He didn't even start. LeBron James only had 21. Anthony Davis had 23 or 24. Austin Reeves had 23. That was clutch in the fourth quarter. But this is why the Los Angeles Lakers did what they needed to do to try to take home field advantage from the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, we all know Jarrett Jackson Jr. had himself one hell of a game. Desmond Bane had himself a hell of a game. But John Morant didn't have a great game. He had an okay game. You can't have okay games against LeBron James and the Lakers. You can't have okay games. If you consider yourself one of the best players in the league, you have to step up as the best player in the league. John Morant, and I'm calling you out. Because you traveled a few times. You turned the ball over a few times. You was forcing things and not letting things come to you. It looked like the Lakers played more team basketball than the Memphis Grizzlies did. But Hachimura came in that second half. Hachimura came in that second half and dominated. He hit 4 threes in the third quarter. Off the same play. Off the same play. What he did was, here comes Struder. Struder comes to the left wing. He gets the pick for LeBron James. LeBron James gets double teamed. Hachimura wide open, 3-pointer made. They came down 4 times and ran the same play. And the Memphis Grizzlies did not make no adjustments to that. None. And then when you did make adjustments, they go Austin Reeves saying that I am him. I am him. And that's what Austin Reeves did, man, with 23 points in his debut in the playoffs. We know Hachimura, however you pronounce his name, we all know this. The guy can ball. We seen it in Washington. He could ball. But he was the key factor in the bench for the Lakers, was the key factor in why the Lakers won this game. Now, John Morant's injury, very concerning. The X-rays did come back negative for him. But at the same time, I gotta think of it as thinking like this, like, yo, for real. John Morant's hand was already messed up. What's going on, Mo Green? What's going on, brother? What's going on? But the Los Angeles Lakers made the moves at the trade deadline for these playoffs purposely. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. I'm gonna have to congratulate the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm gonna have to congratulate them. I'm really gonna have to, because the Los Angeles Lakers made the moves to do this. And I gotta say it, man. I gotta say it for him. Like, and I'm gonna bring my bro Mo Green up here. I'm definitely gonna send him the link. I'm gonna bring him up here to talk about the show, talk about the playoffs, because it's other things I do want to talk about as well. And we do have XFL, we do have USFL as well. But I'm gonna get the link for Mo Green real quick, have him come up here and talk his talk. I'm gonna send him the link. I'm about to inbox you right now, bro. I'm about to inbox you right now, because the way this season is going, the way these playoffs is going, I want to make sure that I'm sending it to the right one. Okay, because I know you have two Mo Greens. I know you have two of those. So, but like I said, man, the Memphis Grizzlies, I just don't know about them at this point. I'm kind of nervous. I think the Lakers might take this, man. I think the Lakers might take this series. And I'm not even a Laker fan. I don't even like the Lakers. I think the Lakers is still not that great. But I think the Lakers might take this series if John Morant is not 100%. Let's go into the Milwaukee Bucks and Miami Heat. Miami Heat had to beat the Chicago Bulls to get into this playoff. And now we see it. Miami Heat takes the first win over the Milwaukee Bucks. And I said this on the live stream. When you don't have Giannis Antetokounmpo in the lineup, what is the identity of the Milwaukee Bucks? Let me give me a thumbs up and let me know when you're ready, bro. Just give me a thumbs up and let me know when you're ready. Because I'm gonna be completely real. Andre, what's going on, bro? Thank you for tuning in. But I'm gonna be completely honest, bro. Just let me know just give me a thumbs up when you're ready so we can get this thing going. All right, so my brother from another mother wanted to come up on the show today. And he is here. And I finally got him back on his shit to talk some basketball. What's good, Emo?
Yo. Hey, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you nice and clear, brother.
Back. Hey, it was a good weekend for sports.
It was, man. It definitely was a good weekend for sports, man. But like before you got up on here.
Hold on. First of all, DC Defenders. We'll talk about it.
Oh, we're gonna get it to the DC Defenders.
Y'all almost had me mad, but we talk about it. Y'all had me mad for a minute. We talk about that.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about it, man. We're gonna get into the XFL. Absolutely, man. But this is what I said before you came up on here, because I moved on to Milwaukee and the Miami Heat, man. I said this on a live stream last night. When Giannis is not in this lineup, Milwaukee has no identity.
Absolutely.
They have no identity, man. And people say that Chris Middleton is that dude. I don't like his game for some reason. I just feel like he can't carry a team when Giannis is gone.
I see something different in him since that injury. I don't see the same Chris Middleton. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Chris Middleton ain't consistent to me. You know? Same thing with Holiday. They not like too consistent with me. You feel me? And like they don't have another player that that if Giannis goes out, that can take over that little leading role. It can be Chris Middleton, but it never is.
Right.
It never is. So like I 100% agree. When Giannis is not in, that team has absolutely no identity at all. Like at all. Their identity is just like, prime example, the whole year, don't nobody talk about Milwaukee Bucks. That's how their identity be without Giannis. Don't nobody talk about him. For real.
That's true too. So I got a question in the chat. They said, Darion, let me ask you a question. How does Miami adapt when Giannis comes back? Because now Tyler Hero is out for the rest of the playoffs. Now that's a key factor too. That hurts for Miami.
That's their shooter.
But I feel like you still have a guy in Jimmy Butler that can take over, knowing that Tyler Hero's not there. You still have a Bam Adebayo on defense that can get you rebounds and play good defense. Now, my problem with the Bucks is they rely on Giannis a little bit too much.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like Miami's probably still got the advantage, because even though Tyler Hero is out, you can still get some quality shots from Vincent. You can still get some quality shots from Struz. You can still get quality shots from Jimmy Buckets, where he could take over a game, which we saw in the play-in against Chicago.
And not to mention, we still waiting on that one game when Duncan Robinson come in and shoot like 9 threes and make them.
I don't understand why he's not playing at all. I'm confused.
I have no idea.
The guy is getting paid mad money just to sit on the bench, and y'all don't play him. I don't. I'm confused about Duncan Robinson. I'm really confused about that.
Very confused.
So to go back over the playoffs things, because the stuff that you missed. Like, I don't know if you agree with me, but I say Warriors and Kings game was the best game of the weekend.
I can't lie. All right. Kings is very, very good. I love the Kings. And I ain't gonna lie, yo. I thought y'all was gonna come in the playoffs and get swept going against an experienced team like Golden State. That's me sleeping on the talent, the young talent, and the coaching over there in Sacramento. Because there's a reason why y'all at where y'all was placed, there's a reason why y'all at where y'all at, yo. And I can't lie, like Sacramento is fun to watch. Very fun to watch, yo. Like,
they are
fun to watch, like, for real. And like Golden State, y'all don't tighten up. I'm telling you.
Well, they struggled defensively all season too, man.
Yeah,
they struggled defensively all season.
Golden
and Malik Monk and De'Aaron Fox put on a show.
Malik Monk has a beautiful game. That's been like that since day one, though. And I'm glad he's over there in Sacramento where he can really, really show off his game. Because when he come off and get to shooting, Malik Monk is very underrated. Very underrated.
I feel like he didn't get his chance to show what he really wanted to show when he was with the Lakers.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think they restricted him a little bit too much. But that goes into my next thing. People might say what they want about the Clippers, but they did go in and beat the Phoenix Suns last night.
Without PG.
And Westbrook did not have to score a damn point, but defensively, you can tell that Westbrook is a different player as a Clipper than he was as a Laker. You can see the difference.
He's happy. That's the difference. He's happy. You want an LA squad that appreciate you. You know, I never understood how Westbrook coming off the bench in the Lakers. Like, I never understood that right there. You know, people could say, like, I don't know, and I don't really like it, because like Westbrook with the Lakers, like, he had a lot of criticism, and I don't understand. Like, I don't understand why. Like, Westbrook is Westbrook to me. To me, Westbrook, like, he's that triple-double monster. You know?
Right.
So I don't really understand, like, why he received so much criticism being on the Lakers, because when LeBron and everybody was out, he played. Like, he played last year. But now this year, you got somebody in LA Clippers, you know, that you could vibe with. The only thing, keep in mind, that three-man Clippers, that ain't nothing but OKC, but you just take away KD, and then you add Kawhi. That's all that is.
And Kawhi was a dog last night. That second half, Kawhi was a dog. Like Kawhi looks like he reminds me of the Kawhi. He gave me Toronto Kawhi last night. And you can tell that knee is 100% healthy. And I'm happy that he took almost a whole year off, because a lot of people scrutinize him for load management and stuff like that. But you see why he does what he does, because when he gets into the playoffs, he's unstoppable.
Absolutely. I think for real, the key factors in this series would probably be who got the best bench. I think that, like, who got the best bench? Who bench can hold on?
I like the Clippers bench a little bit better because no Cameron Payne for the Suns.
Exactly. No Cameron Payne for the Suns. With the Suns, don't get me wrong, I do like the TJ Warren. I do like the TJ Warren. Torrey Craig, he's really just defensive, like, for real.
Yeah.
But then, like, with the Clippers, you got somebody coming out like Luke Kennard or somebody like that, like Reggie Jackson. They have players on the Clippers. Luke
Kennard is not even with the Clippers no more. He's in Memphis.
I'm tripping. I'm
Which I think the Clippers should have never traded him, but hey.
I meant to say, what's my man name? Trey Mann?
Yeah, Terrence Mann, yeah.
Terrence Mann, yeah. They got decent role players coming off the bench. They got decent role players that come off the bench. Zubac, he does this, like, he ain't no 5-star center. But he gonna.
Well, he can rebound.
Yeah, you ain't gonna just come in there deboing him like that,
Right.
So, hey, for real, shout out to the Clippers, yo. For real, big shout out to the Clippers. Shout out to for real, shout out to both LA teams. It's
impressive that Westbrook's defensive play. That I didn't really care about his offensive play, because people, everybody know that he's a stat stuffer. He gets the assists, he gets the rebounds, and then he can score at will if he wants to. But I felt like he didn't think about his offensive game, because he knew Kawhi was going off. He knew other players was going off. But on the defensive side, he had mad help. But he was chasing down Durant from behind Pauls, and he was blocking shots, and he was doing all the necessary hustling things that the Clippers team needed because Paul George is kind of a great defender as well. So now you got Westbrook that stepped in and did his job last night.
Yeah. And I agree with the comment, the tweet that he made this morning. He said in that position, can't nobody out rebound him. I kind of agree with that. I kind of agree with that one right there. As far as like in that point guard position, I don't think no other point guard could out rebound him like that. So, hey, big shout out to the Clippers, man, for real. Big shout out to the Clippers. Big shout out to both LA teams, yo. I'm gonna give a round of applause to the Lakers.
3 out of the 4 teams won. 3 out of the 4 teams in California won this weekend. Kings, Lakers, Clippers.
I gotta give a round of applause to the Lakers, because that last 2.5 minutes. If you don't know who Reeves is now, you know now. If you didn't know who Reeves was before this, you know who he is now, bro. Hey, that last 2.5 minutes was, yeah.
But it all started with Huchamera, bro.
Yeah.
Your former Washington Wizard.
Man, I understand why we let him go. I understand. But I wish we never let him go.
but he had 4 threes in the fourth quarter. 4 threes. And they, like I said on the live before you came on, they ran the same offensive set and the same result got with Huchamera. I'm like, how the Grizzlies does not know that they run the same set? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Shit.
Exactly. Any news on Ja Morant?
From what I heard from Ja Morant, from what I've heard, that the X-rays were negative on his hand.
That's good.
So that's good, but
that's very good.
If you consider yourself the best player in the NBA, even before the hand injury, he wasn't playing that well.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Desmond Bane was playing.
Yeah,
Desmond Bain was playing. He just got in a little bit of foul. Yeah. Triple J and Desmond Bain, they was playing. That is just that with Triple J, you always gonna he always gonna get in foul trouble. I think that's something that's just part of his game to get in a little bit of foul trouble. Desmond Bain, hey, he was balling for real. Like he was balling, man.
I just feel like they need a little bit more help. Jackson had 30, Bain had like 25. Mm-hmm. Just imagine if John Morant would have put up like another 25 to help them, Yeah. Because you can't really rely on Dylan Brooks. You just can't.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Dylan Brooks. I'm just not.
Yeah, I wish they kind of I wish Brandon Clark was healthy. Brandon Clark was healthy.
That hurts them too.
Yeah.
That hurts them too. So the Lakers, they did what needed to be done at the trade deadline. They went out and got players. They went out and got themselves a bench, and 4 players in double figures, all over 20 points, and that was Reeves, Huchimera, Davis, and LeBron. And LeBron had the less points out of all 4.
Mm-hmm.
So that tells you LeBron he did what he was supposed to do, but he let his supporting cast work.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you win championships, when you have a supporting cast. You don't have to put everything on your back. So
exactly.
It's going to be tough for the Grizzlies if Morant is not 100%.
Yeah. Now the question is, all right, so if Lakers take this, who would you rather see them play, Sacramento or Golden State?
I would love to see the Lakers play Sacramento. I would love to see that rivalry again.
That would be fire.
I would love to see that rivalry again. I think the Kings gonna want their lit back for how many years that the Kings has lost to the Lakers when Kobe and Shaq was there.
Yeah,
I think that'll be a lit series. I think that will definitely be a lit series.
Yeah,
I'm not counting on Golden State, because we all know what Golden State can do. Yeah, we all know.
Just keep in mind, Sacramento, you ain't got no Doug Christies or no Webbers or nothing, bro. So y'all got to, hey, for real, you ain't got a person like Chris Webber that's gonna be like, hold up, let me take Shaq. You ain't got nobody like that. So hey, I gotta play that one for real,
right?
Man.
And I think, and I kind of, even though that Draymond Green is a smaller center than a lot of people think he is, but I feel like the Kings have that advantage at the center position. I mean, Looney is all right. I'm not really a big fan of Looney, but I think the Kings have some length in their front court. I think they have some length that could get advantage and get rebounds over this Golden State Warriors team. My only problem is De'Aaron Fox or Malik Monk being burnt out chasing Stephen Curry all night.
That's true. I mean, shoot, Kings got hands down the most underrated big man in the league.
Right.
In my opinion, I feel like Sabonis is literally like the most underrated big man in the league. Like, he never gets mentioned.
He never gets mentioned. He doesn't. But this he doesn't get mentioned because it's the Kings.
Yeah, but
people are used to the Kings losing. They're not used to the Kings winning. They're used to them losing. Yeah,
but the thing is, like, all right, so like when he was over there in Indiana, like his stats was still up there,
But they was losing.
Stats was they was losing. Yeah, they was losing. Yeah. So yeah. I agree, because the Kings, they. Yeah, I mean, yeah. People so used to the Kings losing or something. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, that's true.
It's just that's what I'm saying. Like, Sabonis became an all-star because when your team start winning, you get noticed.
Mm-hmm.
But Sabonis still don't get talked about the way he's supposed to. But look at Sabonis. But look at the other guy. What's his name? Lynn, the backup center for him.
Yeah,
he has the length to go up against Looney and get rebounds, and that's what I love about it.
Yeah,
they have depth pieces that could come in and make an impact, and that's what happened with Sacramento that night. So, speaking of big men, I don't really want to talk too much into these first 2 games, the first 2 Eastern Conference games, because I know they're going to be sweeps. Philadelphia 76ers, my guy, Joel Embiid. Do you think he's going to win MVP?
I think he deserves to win. Do I think he will win? No. Reason being, It has nothing to do with his game. It has nothing to do with the stat sheet. I personally don't think that NBA as an organization don't like Embiid. And I think like when it comes to MVP, they kind of cater to Jokic regardless. Like regardless have like say like if Denver loses this series, which I can't really see happening, but say if Denver really loses this series and then Philly go on, I feel like every year they try to find a way to give it to Jokic. And then like with the whole,
I feel like they make every excuse to try to find a way to give it to Nikola Jokic. Yes.
Yeah. And then like didn't Embiid go through a situation with the All-Star thing where he didn't get put on the panel for the All-Star thing for the All-Star game this year?
Yeah, I don't even think he was a starter in the All-Star game.
Like I don't know. I don't know. Like when it comes to Embiid, I think like the NBA itself just I don't know, don't really like him like that. Like don't really, you know what I'm saying? So like when you got three people in the MVP race, him, Joe and Giannis, I feel like they're gonna cater more to Giannis and Joe before they cater to Embiid.
And I never understood it because he outscored Jokic and Giannis. He was a league leading scorer.
Mm-hmm.
And only thing for me, and I'm not trying to be biased because I am a Sixers fan, but I don't see no drop off between Embiid and Jokic. I don't really see. Only thing I really see is that Jokic might have a better 3-point shot than him.
He might get one or two more assists.
Than Joel
yeah,
Embiid.
He might get a few more assists, but like as far as like I don't know. Embiid
when it comes to back to the basket and post up, I think Embiid is a better athletic player than Jokic when it comes to back to the basket.
Yeah. Now, one thing I didn't agree on, the end of the regular, I felt like Embiid should have played that game versus Denver. I felt like he shouldn't set that game out at the end of the season versus Denver. He chose to sit that game out, and then he ended up playing the following game, which I understand because that's what happens with the back-to-back. But I wouldn't have set out against Denver. I probably would have tried to prove a point to Jokic and the league. Just for
I think he already proved the point the first 3 times that they played. Because every time Embiid plays Denver, he averages at least 30 on Jokic.
Yeah.
So he probably felt like, man, I've been scorching Jokic the first 3 times. Why do I need to do it again?
Yeah.
But I understand that. I can understand what Anthony Price is saying. He said Embiid could take over a game. Jokic is a team player that can steal the show. I think both players can steal the show.
Yes.
I think both players can steal the show.
Yeah. I think both players could do. I think both players should do both. I think we've seen both players do both. Like over there in Denver, like just think about it. My man got MVP. Last 2 times.
Yeah, back
to back. But think about it though, like he got those MVP back to back because like you talk about Denver, that's the only person you really think about. Don't nobody talk about no Jamal Murray. Don't nobody talk. Only time somebody spoke on Aaron Gordon was the slam dunk contest.
Basically, he ain't been the same since.
Michael Porter Jr. He could be a beast, but he's injury prone. Mm-hmm. And that keeps the team, like the team kind of holds him back a little bit because they scared of his injury. You get what I'm saying? So like a lot of seasons, like when we think of Denver, like that's all we think about. It's the center, for real.
Jamal Murray is a star. Don't get me wrong, but I just felt like he's still kind of hesitant of that knee, of his injury. So I just don't feel like he's the Jamal Murray that he was before the injury.
Like Embiid, we've seen Embiid do that with other stars around him. I can't say I really seen that in Denver. You get what I'm saying? So like that's what I'm saying. Like Embiid, he doing what he doing with the James Harden. He doing what he doing.
He did it with Butler. He did it with Ben Simmons.
Exactly.
He did it with so many different players there.
Exactly. So many different players that he still, regardless of what team you put him on, he's still going to do what he do. You get me? But over there in Denver, it's a lot easier to do that when majority of your starting lineup is either not consistent or hurt or something like that. You know, it's easier for the big center, for Big Joker to take the ball down and fill his stats up because you ain't got everybody else that's not as consistent.
True.
So I done seen Jimmy B drop buckets over there in Philly, and Embiid still did what he did.
And still had like 30. while Jimmy Butler had 25 or 26 or something of that nature. So hey, you definitely see it with it be no matter who he has in the starting lineup. But let's talk about the 76ers and Brooklyn Nets series real quick.
That's a tough series for Brooklyn, man.
You think it's a tough series? Because I felt like the Sixers in the beginning of the game, if I looked at game one, they had no answer for Mikal Bridges.
Yeah.
They had no answer. So Anthony Price said, so what's your input of meaning of MVP? I think the meaning for me, before we get into the playoffs, before the Brooklyn Nets and the 76ers series matchup, for me, you got to be an all-around player. And I think that's what Embiid is. Embiid and Jokic are both all-around players. I just feel like Embiid gets scrutinized a lot in the NBA. And I feel like Jokic is a poster boy of the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Giannis are the poster boys. They want them to win MVP. Embiid has to work harder than any other player in the league to win MVP with the team that he got. Because Jokic won the MVP back-to-back times, and they both were number one seeds, and then they never made it to the finals. Same thing for Embiid, though. Embiid made it to the second round and can't get past the second round when it comes to Boston. But this is the year that he has to get past Boston or Milwaukee. He has to. The Sixers got to.
Here's the thing with that, though, right? So, yeah, we see the same thing from Embiid, right? But we don't really see Philly going into the playoffs as number one seed. We always see Denver going into the playoffs as the number one seed and get spanked. Like, get spanked. You get what I'm saying? So, like, and I feel like, to be honest, I feel like this year, you know, I think they'll get past Minnesota, but I think whoever they play next, that's probably when they're going to get, you know, not get spanked, but I think that's probably when they end up meeting a match, you know. And I feel it's going to be different from Embiid, you know. But even if that happens, they still would cater to Jokic.
Yeah, I think they cater. I think they cater to Nikola Jokic a little bit too much. I think for me, and people can say what they want, I feel like Denver Nuggets is the most overrated number one seed in the West. They overrated.
Absolutely.
And I just feel like if they go up against a more caliber team, if they go up against, you know, a Lakers team, or they go up against a Clippers team, or they go up against a Phoenix Suns, I don't think they stand a chance. That's just my personal opinion. Even against the Golden State Warriors or Sacramento Kings, I just feel like right now, Denver is the most boringest number one team in the West. They boring.
Absolutely.
They boring to watch. I don't understand how the number one seed in the West. They are boring to watch. For them to play the Timberwolves. I know Denver is going to sweep the Timberwolves. I know they are. What I love for the Timberwolves to come out and beat Denver in the first round, hell yes, because Denver is boring to watch.
It's always been like that for me. For Denver, they always been kind of boring to me. Like for real,
they're boring to watch, man. They're boring. They're boring to watch. Yes, they win basketball games, but they overrated and they boring. I'm sorry.
Like I always say, the top three teams for me that was always boring to watch was Denver, San Antonio, and Utah.
Yeah,
like for real.
But my meaning of MVP is that I just feel like Embiid put the 76ers team on his back when Harden was hurt. And Tobias was inconsistent. Maxey was in and out of the lineup. I just feel like Embiid was consistent all year, with or without his supporting cast, averaging 33 points a game In 80, well, I think he played 70 of the 82 games, if I'm not mistaken. I just feel like when it comes to Nikola Jokic, making him a 3-time MVP proves what? What does it prove? It's time for somebody else to get it.
Yeah.
Most valuable player. And Embiid is a most valuable player.
Which is crazy. It's crazy, right? Because it actually goes back to what was said a little earlier with Denver. You take homeboy off that team, you talking about a team that has absolutely no identity whatsoever. For real.
Denver doesn't have no identity.
Yeah, you take Giannis out of Milwaukee, they would have more of an identity than Denver if you take my man. You feel me? Like,
if Nikola Jokic was not on Denver, I don't even think they'll be a number 1 seed. I don't even think they'll be in a play-in.
Yeah.
They'll be a play-in team without Nikola Jokic. Sorry to say. And that's how I feel about Milwaukee. Like I'm saying, if you take Giannis out of it, they might have an identity, but I don't think they'll be a number 1 seed. They'll be a lower seed in the Eastern Conference. Because these two teams that I'm about to say now probably would have been higher than Milwaukee if they didn't have Giannis. Cleveland and New York. The best series in the East.
I can't lie. I hope that series go to 7 because I want to see 7 games of that series right there.
Best series in the Eastern Conference.
Those is 2 teams that had my attention the whole season. Cleveland is a beast, yo. New York is a beast, yo. And for real, I even think after the season, yo, I think New York is probably going to try to push for Dame, but I don't know. That's neither here or there. But I think they might end up pushing for Dame or somebody if Dame say.
I don't think they should. They got a star in Jalen Brunson.
Exactly. I would not push for Dame at all. For real. Like, nah. If anything, y'all can take Bradley Beal from us. Just give us something worth it. Just give us something worth it.
See, that's what I'm thinking. I don't think New York want to break up that team right now. Thibodeau got his guys. Yeah, and I don't know if Bradley Beal is a Thibodeau type of guy. That's the only thing. I really don't know Bradley Beal's personality like that because you see it on the floor, but you don't really see his personality like that.
He's not a leader.
And that's why.
Yeah,
that's why I don't see it like that.
Yeah, like that's pretty much. I mean, he had his time with us, but it's time for us we got to let that man go. Let him go somewhere where he want to go to. So he don't want to be a leader. We need a leader, you know. And I agree with you for real. I mean, the fact that he doesn't play a leadership role could make him a little bit decent over there in New York, but nah, y'all can do a lot better than Bill. From what y'all have, I would probably try to go young. I don't know. I'll probably try to go young with a shooting guard, you know, because and for real, a shooting guard that I don't even think y'all need a shooting guard. Like I actually think your players is kind of locked in because Quickly is a beast.
Yeah, Quickly is good.
Quickly is good, bro. For real. This year, the only thing, RJ Barrett's stats went down a little bit from last year.
Yeah.
Just a tad bit.
But because of Jalen Brunson, man. Jalen Brunson playing that point, he could shoot at will, and he has a quickness. And I seen it in the fourth quarter when he drove left, laid it up with the right, just blew past the guy. Like you adding Josh Hart to that team. You adding a nice bench to that team. The Knicks are really good, but let's not forget the Cleveland Cavaliers. They got a good backcourt with Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell. Mitchell had 40 on them.
I can't lie, right? When that trade went down between Utah and Cleveland, I was always curious of how that was going to work and who was going to work like with Cleveland, you know? I love seeing Cleveland where they at right now because they have a beautiful team, bro. From the big man, Allen and Mobley, beast. Garland and Mitchell, beast. Like I'm talking about just a pure beast, yo. The whole team, the way they play, is a beast. They play a crazy offense that is just a beast, bro. Like for real. Like you got a team, like you got 2 teams for real that I would love to see one of these teams in the Eastern Conference Finals.
I would not be surprised about that.
I would love to see.
I'm gonna just go to the chat real quick. Keith says, "What up, big dogs? What's going on, Keith? What's going on, brother?" Anthony Price says, "I like Dame to the Miami Heat to team up with Jimmy Butler." Now that probably makes more sense to me.
That makes a lot of sense.
That makes more sense to me. Arku says it's not Bradley Bill's fault, and the Wizards don't have no direction. I'm gonna let you iterate on that because you are.
I got a rebuttal for that, right?
So I will let you say that.
I got a rebuttal for that, right? So for years, you're 100% right. You're absolutely right, right? We didn't have no direction, right? Why? Because we were stuck. We had money on a John Wall that we tried to get rid of for the longest, But now I feel like we're starting to gain a little bit of direction, And I seen that when we extended Porzingis' contract, we're not going to let go of Kyle Kuzma. It's been plenty of teams that gave us offers for Kyle Kuzma, But like, I don't know, like with I feel like we're starting to like kind of get a direction, somewhat of an identity, but like we're still working on it. We still working on that. We don't have a full direction yet, on where we want to go, but I do know what we want to do, and that is let go of Bradley Beal, because that's going to open a lot more money up for us to focus on that direction that we're trying to get to.
All right, so I'm gonna be live for both games today. Sixers and Nets at 7:30, and I'm gonna be live for Sacramento and Warriors when it comes to those two games tonight. I'm gonna be live for majority of the games this week, but Adam Schefter just dropped the bomb, y'all. Jalen Hurts got paid. So Eagles and Jalen Hurts reached an agreement on a 5-year, $255 million extension, including $179.3 million guaranteed per source. Hurts become the highest player in NFL history in a deal negotiated by Nicole Lynn of Clutch Sports and the Eagles GM Howie Roseman. Let's get some more information in that. So, according to Tom Pelissero, he says that it includes $15 million in incentives, meaning Hurts can earn up to a record of $54 million per year in new money and up to $274.3 million total through 2028, including $4.3 million that would be due in the last year of his final rookie contract. Mo.
Yo, I wonder how many walls and how many tables and stuff Lamar Jackson done broke right now. I swear, bro. Lamar Jackson going in right now, bro, for real. Hey, as far as the Eagles, hey, I ain't mad at it. I would have paid the boy. I would have paid him. I'm not mad at it, yo, for real. But hey, Keith, if you still in here, go ahead and give your quarterback a call. Give him a
Keith,
hug.
Call Lamar right now.
Mm-hmm. But to show you, that's the difference between a quarterback that asks for something and literally prove that he's worth that shit than a quarterback. It's different. But I got my own feelings towards what Lamar Jackson is asking.
No, talk about it. Talk about it.
But it's a big difference between a quarterback that's asking for over 200 and something million that actually has that. Mind you, right? We seen the potential those last two, that last game of his first year. We see the potential come in and the man goes. Hold on. Matter of fact, we're gonna say it like it is. Not only he go to the Super Bowl, but he convincingly went to the Super Bowl. For real. Yeah. 255, money well worth it.
Listen, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, but Baltimore Ravens fans, don't get mad at me. Be mad at your organization, bro. Because this is starting to show why the Baltimore Ravens don't give big contracts to quarterbacks. We've seen it in the history of the Baltimore Ravens organization. They only gave one big contract to one quarterback, and that was Joe Flacco after the Super Bowl. Steve McNair didn't even get a big contract.
After the defense won the Super Bowl.
after the defense won the Super Bowl.
It wasn't even a contract he earned for real.
Exactly. So Baltimore, you can't be mad at Baltimore fans, you can't be mad because your organization is known for lowballing your quarterbacks when it comes to a contract. Let's keep it real. So Lamar Jackson requested a trade. Everything is stagnant. You go out and get Odell Beckham, but I don't understand why Lamar Jackson is recruiting Odell Beckham and you request a trade. I'm confused.
Hey, yo. See, look, Lamar, the smart thing for you to do, I'm going to say this to the camera. My man, Jalen Hurts, he had a conversation, right? After his freshman year, right when he knew, all right, he could be that starter. He had a conversation with his coaches and his organization, and they asked him, what do you want? He said, give me another receiver, and I could take you here. They gave him A.J. Brown, and he took them there. Where? You feel me? Lamar, if you don't do shit, for one, I don't understand why y'all got Odell in the first place, and I don't understand why Odell went over there in the first place to a team that don't even throw. But that's neither here or there. You know what I'm saying? Lamar, the best thing, hey, go to the Colts. Just go to the Colts or something, bro. Like, hey, Jalen Hurts.
You got paid, brother. You got paid.
I love it.
So now Tom Pelissero said Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert, you're up next for a contract. And they are.
Mm-hmm.
Respectively, they are.
Let me ask you a question though, right? With Herbert, how much is he really worth? Would you say he's worth more than would you say he's worth more or less than Lamar?
If we talking statistically, he's worth more than Lamar. If we looking at when it comes to stats and whose stats are better, Herbert is worth more than Lamar. Athletic and what's more valuable to a team, Lamar's worth more than Herbert.
Mm-hmm.
They're going for real. The Chargers always going to find them a future quarterback.
Yeah,
Baltimore is not. If Lamar Jackson's gone, Baltimore is back in rebuild again.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Herbert is still young. He still have a lot of years under that train that he has. So if you pay Justin Herbert, you can see a better future for Justin Herbert than you see for Lamar Jackson.
Absolutely.
Herbert doesn't get hurt that much. We have mad injuries with Lamar Jackson because he's a run-first quarterback. Even though people say that he could throw the ball and he's accurate and all that, I still feel like the Chargers would put more around Herbert than Baltimore would do around Jackson.
Absolutely.
Even though Herbert has the weapons and still can't do nothing, you can say that about the Chargers because I don't like the Chargers. I don't like the Chokers either.
Mm-hmm.
But being a football fan, they do more for Herbert than Baltimore does for Lamar Jackson.
Absolutely.
What has Lamar Jackson done outside of his MVP caliber year? Nothing.
Absolutely.
Has not done shit. And people want to go off that 1 year and him winning the MVP. I'm all about consistency as a quarterback.
Exactly. I was just about to say that. Yeah, I was just about to say that.
That's one thing about Lamar Jackson. He's not a consistent quarterback. He has, since Lamar Jackson's been in the league, he has not thrown a 4,000-yard pass this year. I mean, since matter of fact, even when he won MVP, he didn't throw for 4,000.
Mm-hmm.
But Justin Herbert has done it damn near every year he's been in the league.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm just saying, just throwing it out.
Yeah, I have a question. Hey, my man Andre said, what was his best receiver? I mean, what his best receiver was hurt all year. Who you speaking on, Andre? On Baltimore?
Who was his best receiver in Baltimore? Because his best receiver was Mark Andrews.
Mark Andrews. Yeah. So that's what I was trying to figure out. Like, who are you talking about? You talking about Bateman, Duvernay?
Duvernay, not a threat.
No.
Not a threat at all. Baltimore is a run first football team. Run first and play defense.
And
That's what they do.
they're gonna remain like that for the longest.
That's the identity of Baltimore. It's been like that since 2000.
Yeah.
That's the identity of Baltimore.
Then y'all running first with running backs that, you know, when they on the field, they good, but that's the question. It's like when they on the field. You know, it's right. Like, because it seems like, and I don't wish injury on nobody, you know, for real. If it was up to me, nobody would get injured, because I want to see players at 100% when they play each other. You know, that's why I'm kind of mad with this NBA playoffs with the John Morant thing. But I'm just saying, like, I mean, I don't know, bro. Like,
so they just threw it out there 1 year for when it comes to Jalen Hurts and his 3 years of trajectory. 1 year backup quarterback and wins the starting job late in the year. Year 2 leads the team to the playoffs. Year 3 he leads the team to the Super Bowl, and entering year 4 the highest paid QB in the league. That's called progression.
Mm-hmm.
Something Lamar Jackson have not done.
Mm-hmm.
Something Lamar Jackson has not done. I'm sorry to say.
Mm-hmm.
And the money is worth it for Jalen Hurts. The money is definitely worth it. He went toe to toe with Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. They barely lost that game. Defense kind of screwed them, but hey, Jalen Hurts still had himself a game on a terrible field. When it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles, only thing I'm nervous about now is that I know they had a lot of 1 year deals going into this off season, and let's see what they do in the draft. Who they pick up, and you know, Eagles is good for moving up. So yeah, they're good for moving up. So that's gonna be interesting to watch. Another thing in the NFL I want to talk about that I heard over the weekend about Dalvin Cook possibly being cut. Now, I want to talk about it because running backs are being very, I don't even know how to say it when it comes to running backs. You know, Josh Jacobs got franchise tagged. Saquon Barkley got franchise tagged. Dalvin Cook might be cut. What is going on with the running back position in the NFL? What is happening now?
You got Derrick Henry. You got Zeke. Like, at one point I heard a situation with Eckler and the Chargers.
Yeah, Eckler requested a trade. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm curious of what's going on with this running back situation.
Because out of all the people that I named, and I know I'm gonna throw my Raiders bias in it, but I mean, Josh Jacobs was the league leading rusher, all purpose and just for scrimmage, and all purpose. He led the league in both categories.
Josh Jacobs won me a lot of money on DraftKings. Josh Jacobs won me some money on DraftKings, bro. Hey, if I win that $1 million on DraftKings, hey, Jacobs, I'm coming to see you, bro. Hey, I ain't gonna buy you a drink because you got more money than me, but I'm gonna ask for one. You know what I'm saying? I would pay Josh Jacobs in a heartbeat, for real.
Do you think the Raiders is going to sign him before the season starts?
If they know what's best. I feel like
the Raiders you're talking about.
Like the only thing with Josh Jacobs, right? Like, I love the way he runs. I love his whole game. I love a fucking all around running back.
Right.
I love a running back that you fear on that line of scrimmage, but you fear him on the screen too. Like, I love that type of running back, yo. And a running back that don't back down from nobody. The only thing I'll be fearing about him is, please make it through this whole game, bro. Like, that's all I'd be like. Please just make it through this whole game. Don't get no twisted ankle or none of that shit, bro.
Right.
You know, just make it through this whole game.
That's my only issue with Josh Jacobs. Like, I know that guy runs hard and he breaks a lot of tackles. Like, yo, just finish the game. Just finish the damn game.
Josh Jacobs is like a Derrick Rose of fucking NFL. Of running back to NFL, the way he runs, bro. Like, he's like a Derrick Rose. You remember Derrick Rose? Every time that man went in that, bro, every time Derrick Rose went in for a dunk or layup, bro, he did it like it was the last dunk or layup in his life. Yeah, came down hard. He came down kind of hard.
He was ready Derrick Rose was ready to break the rim when he was dunking the ball. Jesus Christ.
But
He was ready to dunk the ball.
when Josh Jacobs ran, that's how he ran. Like, I dare one of y'all to hit me.
So do you think that? So Anthony Price says Dalvin Cook to the Bills or the Eagles. Well, I mean, I can see that, but I heard that the Eagles are kind of high on Bijan Robinson from Texas. Yeah. I heard it was high on him, and I mean, Dalvin Cook could definitely go to the Bills. I think his brother is there too from Georgia, so you can have the Cook brothers in the backfield.
Now, let me ask you a question though, right? Because the Bills, that's been their main issue, the running back.
Right, running back issue.
Now, yeah. Well, actually, I feel like this past year, not only the running back, but I feel like not the team, but I feel like Josh Allen put too much pressure on himself, trying to do more than what he should have done. You know what he, you got a supporting cast around you. You don't really got to do all of that shit, bro. You feel me? But over there, but like, say if Dalvin Cook go to Buffalo, right? Is that going to change anything?
It really depends on the offensive philosophy, for real, for real. If I'm Dalvin Cook and the Minnesota Vikings cut me, I'm going to the Philadelphia Eagles
in a heartbeat.
I'm going to the Philadelphia Eagles because they lost Miles Sanders to Carolina. It's going to be a running back by committee, so you don't really have to put all the pressure on you to get every carry. Mm-hmm. You still got Boston Scott. You still got Boston Scott over there. You still have what's the other guy's name? I can't think of his name right now, but you have a running back by committee where you can stay healthy all year long.
Is Kenneth Gainwell still there?
Yes, Kenneth Gainwell. That's what it was. Okay. Kenneth Gainwell, Boston Scott with Dalvin Cook, because Miles Sanders is not there anymore. So I can see Dalvin Cook being a Philadelphia Eagle more than I can see him being a Buffalo Bill, because they like to run the ball in Philadelphia. So
yeah.
Even though they like to run the ball in Buffalo, but they like to run the ball with Allen instead of their actual running back. So
yeah,
I could definitely see Dalvin Cook going there. Derrick Henry, where he's going, will he stay in Tennessee?
I don't know. I think Tennessee trying to rebuild all around. Like, I'm not sure what. I'm going to be honest. I've been confused over the Titans ever since they got rid of A.J. Brown and daggone Julio back. Like, the Julio I understood, but I never really understood that them getting rid of the A.J. Brown.
A.J. Brown to Philly, that was crazy.
Yeah, but like now I really don't know. I feel like Tennessee is going to be the next Houston.
Oh, shit. Not the next Houston now. Come on. Jesus Christ. I listen. Houston, I wouldn't say they could be the next Houston, but I think Houston is on a come up. I just feel like right now they need stability at coaching, and I feel like the Texans are very impatient. I think they should have kept Lovie Smith, in my personal opinion. Y'all didn't give Lovie Smith enough to give him a shot to try to change this culture around. 1 year and done. Like, I just didn't like what the Texans did there when it came to that. So it's really about the patience for the Texans. Now, my problem with Tennessee is not really the running back position. It's the quarterback position.
Yeah.
Ryan Tannehill. I think it's time for him to go. I think they need a new culture in Tennessee. You got Malik Willis?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's time for him to step up. And I know that the Titans met with Anthony Richardson. I don't think they need to go draft a quarterback. Mm-hmm. I think it's time to develop Malik Willis and get some young weapons around him, and have some growing pains, because all quarterbacks have it. But Ryan Tannehill got to go. He got to go. And I think Tennessee could do well in this division. You got to think about it. I still think the AFC South is the weakest division in the league. Even though the Jacksonville Jaguars is trending up, I still think the Colts is not there. I still think the Texans is not there. And I damn sure don't think Tennessee is there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just Jacksonville's division for the next couple of years, as long as Doug Peterson is the coach. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree. With Derrick Henry, like, it's a couple of teams that I would like, he'll probably fit pretty decent, but I don't know, like Miami. You know, maybe Miami.
Yeah, Miami. There's a few teams that actually fit the style of Derrick Henry. I mean,
but then again, Miami just picked up that running back from the Jets.
right. So Derrick Henry going where? I mean, but if you're going to cut Dalvin Cook, can Henry go to Minnesota?
Maybe, but Minnesota, they've been on that pass first. They've been on that.
You see that comment right there? Seattle?
I do like Seattle.
I can see that. I can see now that I can see.
There's another team, but if he was to go to that team, that puts a running back probably as the number 2, and I wouldn't like that, and that's Denver. And I wouldn't like that because that puts my man, what's his name, Javonte Williams. That puts him on.
Ain't Williams coming off that injury though?
That is true. He runs good. He's
coming off that torn ACL.
He's a good running back, but he just he injury prone too. You know.
Yeah,
but I mean with the new coach,
I don't want Derrick Henry in my division. Absolutely not.
No, I understand that. For real, hey, you know, one of y'all can come over here to Washington. I'm not guaranteeing the workload, but you know, I mean, you can't come over here to Washington because I do think with EB being over there now, I think he's gonna develop a new identity for us. You know, I hope he turned Washington into a team that can actually score more than 21 points.
Yeah, I mean, wait, I just thought about it. A team that really does not have a running back, Atlanta.
Bingo.
Zeke can go over there to Atlanta, and I'm gonna say this because I'm gonna say this because listen, Atlanta is beefing up their defense. If you look at the line of players, they just signed Bud Dupree, another solid linebacker that got released from Tennessee. They're beefing up on the defensive side of the ball. They really are. And then they still have Desmond Ridder. They still want to go out and probably get another quarterback. I don't know if they want to get one in the draft, but they do want to go out and get another veteran quarterback. If I got to get a few receivers, but you could put a Derrick Henry or Zeke or Dalvin Cook back there in Atlanta.
Yeah,
I mean it's possible. And then think about it, Derrick Henry can go over there because Arthur Smith used to be the OC in Tennessee. So you have a connection? So hey, it's possibility with these running backs, man. So
with
it's
Atlanta,
interesting to watch.
Atlanta been rebuilding, but like, I mean, they get a decent running back over there, you know, and if the quarterback, you know, if he learned a little bit from last year, you know, I mean, they got potential in the offense. You know, they could have a little bit of potential in the offense. You know.
But speaking of a little bit more football, let's talk about the XFL because I have to give the XFL congratulations, man. What a season, man. What a season for the XFL. We are in the
about the XFL, right? So look, right, let me tell you a little story, right? My son, right? You know, my son is in college, right? My son in college and shit, right? You know, he's starting this season, you know, he a junior starting playing football, right? So the other day he was like, Dad, he said, you know what? I figured it out. I said, what's up? He said, if I don't get drafted to the NFL, I'm going straight to the XFL. There you go. There you go.
Now you had, and that's what I love about the XFL and the USFL. Now you're giving players that didn't get drafted opportunities to actually get on the football field and showcase their talent. And that's what I love, that, you know, they allow NFL scouts to come through and even watch these players play still at a high level. But I have to give The Rock kudos for the XFL this year because
absolutely.
He bought it away from Vince. Vince tried to make it an entertainment thing where football is entertainment, yes, but he made it more entertainment, less football. And then The Rock flipped that and made it quality players, quality coaches, and now you have ESPN covering it. XFLs get millions of views weekly. XFL is doing a great damn job, and I don't know if anybody watches my Instagram on a Darion Hopkins show Instagram. That video that I said that people need to watch more about the XFL got 22,000 views.
Yeah,
because it's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
People need to care about the XFL.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, me personally, the rules are better than in the XFL than they are in the NFL, because I love the 1-point conversion, the 2-point conversion, and the 3-point. Fuck a field goal after touchdowns.
Like, I promise you, if you didn't watch, I watched the XFL the first week. I was locked in. After that first weekend, I was locked in. If you haven't seen an XFL game, I promise you, just watch one game. Just watch one game. That's all I'm saying. I wish you would have. Boy, that DC Defenders game. Oh boy, y'all.
Talk about it, man. Talk about it. That damn Renegades game. Listen, that Renegades and Defenders game. I thought the Defenders had it won last.
I said, y'all bet not pull the Redskins on me and mess this up in the final. Ooh, yeah, y'all had me heated, but we pulled that off. Well, we won by like 2 points.
Yeah, y'all won it. Y'all won it OT. 28. Y'all won 28-26. Yep, in overtime. But I was kind of surprised because I'm a bum ass Las Vegas Vipers fan, and Luis Perez got traded to the Renegades, and now he's playing good football for the Renegades. Listen, it's a Raider effect. It got to be a Raider effect, man, because players leave and they play better somewhere else. It's something going on. I don't know what's in the water in Las Vegas. I just don't know. But just to recap the weekend, the next best team outside of the DC Defenders is the Houston Roughnecks. Now,
I agree. Oh yeah,
the Houston Roughnecks, they barely beat my Vipers 28-21, but Wade Phillips got that team playing. I can see the Roughnecks and the Defenders in the championship game. I could definitely see that, but I'm not underestimating those Sea Dragons and them Battlehawks. Those two teams you have to watch for in the playoffs.
Yeah, especially the Battlehawks, yo. Like, I don't underestimate them. It's something about them, yo. Like, hey, once again, I'm gonna say it once again. First, I'm gonna say this right here, yo. Like, share, subscribe, do all that. We, you know what I'm saying? We here, we lit. You know what I'm saying? Like, share, subscribe, and go back and watch all the past Darion Hopkins shows, you know. And then I'm gonna say this again. If you haven't seen an XFL show, please watch it. Please watch it. Just watch one game. I promise you. Watch one game.
One game. That's all we saying, man. That's all we say, because even San Antonio Brahmas, they're not that bad of a football team either.
That's what we.
I don't think they in it though, but they beat. I mean, the most disappointing team to me in the XFL is the Orlando Guardians. They are the most disappointing team to me. We had Paxton Lynch. Paxton Lynch I'm just. Shout out to Key, because Key was a big Paxton Lynch fan when he got drafted to Denver. She got the embroidery autograph signing of the Super Bowl championship hat. It got Paxton Lynch's signature on it. Kudos to you for that. But
Paxton Lynch coming into the NFL, they wanted him to be like the white Cam Newton.
Yes,
that's exactly what they wanted from him. They wanted him to be like a white Cam Newton. So. It went over there in Denver and you never heard nothing. For real. You never heard nothing.
I think DJ Swearinger did play for the Defenders yesterday.
Yes.
I think he did. He used to be a Raider too. So the Roughnecks beat the Vipers 28-21. The San Antonio Brahmas beat the Orlando Guardians 25-23. The DC Defenders beat the Arlington Renegades. And I'm going to get back to them real quick. But DC Defenders went 28-26. They have the best record in the XFL. Seattle Sea Dragons beat the St. Louis Battlehawks. Whoa, so that might have changed. Because I thought the St. Louis Battlehawks would probably be the second best team when it comes to the record. They was already 6-2. I think they 6-3 now because they lost to the Sea Dragons 30-12.
Roughnecks, Sea Dragons, and Battlehawks is 6-3.
We all know the Vipers suck, Anthony Price. We all know my Las Vegas Vipers suck.
Yeah, I got to see the Sea Dragons on Sunday.
Huh?
Yeah, I got to see the Sea Dragons on Sunday.
We losing that game. We losing that game. The Vipers ain't making the playoffs, man. Vipers ain't making the playoffs, but I gotta say, the uniforms for these teams, I'm not gonna lie. Houston Roughnecks got some dope uniforms. Even though the Vipers ain't shit, the Vipers got some good uniforms. I like the San Antonio Brahmas. I think that's different, a different color wave. DC Defenders. Thank God it ain't the colors of the Commanders, bro.
I know, right?
Red and white. Got that red and white, and I love it. I love the DC Defenders uniforms. I really do. Like the uniforms in the XFL is really good this year.
Yeah.
I just feel like now you got the exposure. It's time to expand a little bit. A little bit. If I add like one or two more teams to it, fine. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
So so as of the DC Defenders, y'all have home field advantage through the playoffs. What team that you looking forward to playing in the playoffs? So that one team that you look forward to playing that would give y'all a run for y'all money.
Honestly, it's two teams that I just be wanting to spank. I like probably the Battlehawks. Probably Battlehawks. I want to spank the Sea Dragons. I want to spank them back. Like literally like 28 to zip. I want to spank them back, yo.
I thought you probably would have said the Roughnecks. I thought you probably would have said the Houston Roughnecks there.
Nah, because I like their name. I like their name, so I don't really want my team getting on the field with a team called Roughnecks. You know what I'm saying? We'll let that, we'll say that right there. You know what I'm saying? Nah. To be honest, I feel like the Roughnecks can beat us.
Wait, ain't that the only loss y'all have is to them?
They can beat us. And I think they can beat us.
Now the XFL do not set it up for the Roughnecks and the Defenders to play in the first round or anything of that nature. Set that up for them to be in a championship game. Set that up.
That right there would be
wrong.
Great.
It'll be wrong to have that as like a conference game or something like that. That'll be wrong. We need that as a championship game.
That would be a great championship game. That would be a great championship game, right?
And I think Wade Phillips put together a great football team over there in the Roughnecks. I think everybody put a good football team together. It's just that the Guardians beat the Defenders. What? It was the Orlando Guardians that beat y'all?
Let me see. Let me check that out right there. Hey, players mess up too,
I know. I thought it was the Roughnecks. I thought y'all played them this year, and I thought that was the only team that beat y'all. Wow. The Guardians? Out of all teams, the Orlando Guardians. Now, DC Defenders, y'all. The Guardians is abysmal right now.
But you gotta think though, right? We a DC team. So does that really surprise you? I'm just saying, we gotta think. I mean, unless you DC United, the stuff like that surprise you. Like for real. You
know what? You absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I can't even be mad at that because as a Raiders fan, shit happens. I don't know what it is about Las Vegas. That was the first Guardians win as well. Wow. That's interesting. But I just want to go quickly through the USFL. They actually have a new team interestingly. Like they have a few new names of teams when it comes to the USFL. But I just want to go through the scores real quick. My team, the Philadelphia Stars, that went to the championship last year. They won 27-23 over the Memphis Showboats. Birmingham Stallions, which is the champions of the USFL, beat the New Jersey Generals 27-10. And then now you have the Michigan Panthers, new team that's in the USFL, beat the Houston Gamblers 29-13, and the New Orleans Breakers beat the Pittsburgh Maulers 22-15. Now, the Michigan Panthers and the Memphis Showboats must be new teams due to the fact that the XFL came around. Not bad at it. I mean, it's only week 1 of the USFL, and I watched the USFL last year, and I was pretty interested to see a lot of players leave the USFL to go to XFL because I know the XFL is going to pay more money. Makes sense. But I'm looking forward to the USFL again. It needs to expand out west, and I think right now, I think they need to find an owner that will push the USFL like the XFL did. Now, we know with the XFL, The Rock has a name. We all know this. The Rock makes millions of dollars. He's still under contract with WWE and has not fought in the ring for who knows when. It's still under contract getting paid for the asses, plus getting movie deals and everything that he's doing. So, of course, he's going to get that notoriety of the XFL because look who the owner is. You know, so I just feel like now, if you're the XFL, you got to find an owner or you got to find a marketing team that's going to help push the USFL because the XFL season is over. USFL season is starting. NFL draft is around the corner. You're going to need some notoriety after the XFL is done. Because when the draft is over, everybody's going to talk about the NFL draft. So, I mean, I'm not mad at the USFL. They want to bring it back. And I'm happy that it's 2 extra leagues outside of, watching college football, watching the NFL, or watching, the CFL and the Canadians. So I'm happy there's extra leagues that former NFL players that have been on practice squads that didn't make the 53-man roster, they could go on teams and still showcase. But, what's your thoughts, bringing in these 2 leagues, which is XFL and USFL? What's your thoughts on it?
Well, I love it. Most sports. More to talk about.
More sports for you to bet on, basically.
More to talk about, man. Speaking of that, this is an all sports show, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, because I'm gonna give y'all the results for the race over the weekend. We had a race, NASCAR race in Martinsville. So if any one of y'all viewers do we watch NASCAR in here? I don't care if you do. Go ahead and bet on it. It's an easy money maker.
I try to watch NASCAR. I need a little bit more knowledge. I gotta talk to you behind the scenes about that one.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. It took me at least 5 years to actually be able to watch a whole race. Okay. And then once because my favorite driver, he only my favorite driver because he's the first driver I ever followed. When that was Clint Boyd. And then after I started getting familiar with the drivers and stuff, and then getting familiar with which driver drives best on which track or whatever, that's pretty much. And for real, when I got into DraftKings. And I ain't gonna lie, let me see. The first time I betted on DraftKings when NASCAR won like 1,500, I was locked in. But for all y'all NASCAR fans, we did have it was a NASCAR race in Martinsville over the past weekend. Decent race, pretty good race. Ain't too many cautions. Ryan Preece won the first stage. He actually dominated the first stage. He was the pole sitter. It was messed up too because he was actually dominating that race, and then he messed around, caught a penalty on the He caught a penalty and caution, But let me see. I think Chase Briscoe won the second stage, So Kyle Larson took the race, pretty decent race for a couple of people. Got fast cars, and we expected a good race from him, like William Byron, but William Byron ain't really do too much of nothing, Truex, a lot of drivers fell into some issues, that. They had got him put back and they couldn't get back up. Even Ryan Preece, once he caught that penalty, he went back, had to go back, and couldn't get back in that top 10, But overall, it was a pretty decent race. It was a pretty decent race. I didn't win nothing. Actually, I did. I won $1.23. So, $1.23. Yeah, I won $1.23. So, they gave me $1 back in 23 cents. So,
Hey, listen, you made something instead of nothing.
Yeah,
I haven't been on DraftKings and who knows when, so I haven't even betted in a long time when it comes to it. So,
true to be told, I do more sportsbook now instead of like the fantasy stuff.
Okay, so you do more like the sportsbook side. Now I try to get into the sportsbook side and when it comes to college football, because I know that's like kind of like my forte as well. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, like I I was so close to winning like $600 if Alabama would have scored another touchdown. I was so over it. I'm like, this goddamn sports book shit is confusing when it comes to the spreads, when it comes to um, even if you
All of
do
that over, yeah, over
over
and unders and
unders,
all of that right
yes,
there.
it's a
Like
lot with it.
with sportsbook, I ain't gonna lie. For a week straight, like I won every single night, right? But I didn't place a bet until the fourth quarter. To the beginning of the fourth quarter. You
No,
know what
I
I'm
heard
saying?
you could do that too, though. Like I
Mm-hmm.
really heard that you can, like
Yeah.
during the game, that like the over under changes
Mhm.
while the game is
Yeah.
going on.
The over under and the lines and all that shit changes, you know. So like say like right now, I think like with Sacramento and Golden State, the line is, I think Golden State is favored by 1 point. But say like third quarter come around and Golden and Sacramento beating them by like 15, then you know, so with that right there, sportsbook, I always bet mid game. I bet mid game. I only bet for like first quarter points. I do that right there, like first quarter points and stuff like that, first half points, because I don't like waiting the whole night to get my money, because that's when I
Right.
lose money.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
I
I
gotta
could
learn how
bet
to
on
get back
these.
on it, man.
I could bet on these three players scoring 10 points in the first half. I feel comfortable in that than betting on three players scoring 30 points in the whole game. You get
Or
what I'm
just
saying?
betting to see who will win the game, basically.
Pretty
Okay.
much.
Got
Pretty
it.
much.
All right.
I
See, I
could,
learned something new
yeah,
every day. You just never know what I
yeah.
learn on the
Like,
Darion Hopkins show.
like
Just never
certain
know.
people, you could kind of always bet on them getting that 10, 12 rebounds. You kind of always bet on that. With certain people, you got kind of always bet on getting them 6 assists. So, sportsbook, that's where it's at right there, man. For real, sportsbook, where it's at, man. For real. You know.
Definitely. I definitely gotta go check out definitely gotta go check it out and try to get back into the sports betting thing. That's really, big for me because I was doing it during the NFL season. I was doing it during college football. I should have did it between college basketball as well. But who would never thought that? Who would thought that UConn would win the whole damn thing? That's another
Yeah.
story for another time. I didn't expect
Nah.
UConn to win the whole damn thing. It was really an awkward NCAA tournament this year. It really was.
Yeah.
And I really didn't watch much of it. I was not really intrigued about the teams this year like I am usually when I do the brachiology.
No.
I was not
I was
really
all
too
on
intrigued with the teams this year.
Nah, I was 100% on the females. I was 100% focused on
Yeah,
females this year.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm kind of mad that LSU won the national championship because I'm an SEC person. I'm a Tennessee guy, so I
Mm-hmm.
didn't care for LSU winning it. But shout out to them. They did their thing. South Carolina, they did their
You know
thing.
what?
Hey.
Shout out to women's sports, period.
Oh, thank
That
God somebody else said
that did something. That did. I don't think. The only thing I was mad about after that game is how people wanted to mention the taunting thing. Okay, you got two great female athletes being competitive. There's nothing wrong with that. But
right.
let's not be blinded over the fact that the women's tournament just literally did something to female sports.
It did.
Y'all have to start paying females. Y'all got to start paying these women.
Let's talk about it, man.
You got to start
Listen.
paying these women. Like, for real. Them two females, man, not just them two females, but
in general.
College, in general, like, come on. We got to start paying these women, man. For real.
You notice too, like that in women college basketball, you got to play all 4 years before you go to the pros. You got to play all 4 years before you go to the pros. Unlike the men, you got to at least play a year of college basketball. And I think me personally, I think that should change. And people might disagree with me on this, but I think it should change because you know why? It's good for college basketball in itself. Mm-hmm. Why do you think college football is always big every year? Because you have to wait till your junior year to leave. Mm-hmm. You go to college for 1 year and you go to the NBA, and then you got to look at a fresh new start all over again. I think the NBA eligibility should change to at least after your sophomore year.
Yeah.
Me personally.
Yeah.
Because you're not elevating college basketball when you're just in and out. You come in, you see them 1 year, they eligible for the NBA draft. I don't like that. These women have to go play 4 years of college basketball and graduate and get a degree and still go to the WNBA.
And not to mention, I see a lot more male players crying over the game than female players, because these females is hard body. They play straight up. Yo, I swear. Yo, put these female athletes in the millions brackets. Stop giving them 6 figures, man. Stop giving them 6 figures. For real, man.
Yeah, because these and it should be a prime example. I hope the NBA, which owns the WNBA, gives a prime example of going overseas, of what happened to Brittany Griner. She was over there playing overseas basketball when she got locked up. Even though I don't agree to why even though I understand why she got locked up and understand the aspect of it, but if she was getting paid in America the way that the other male athletes are playing, do you think she would have been over there and got locked up? Absolutely not. Because these women after the WNBA, they got to go overseas to make their 6 figures. How is that fair? Just imagine if LeBron James had to go overseas and make his 6 figures. Oh, LeBron James needs to come back home. Y'all ain't saying that for the women. So I'm calling out the NBA when it comes to marketing, when it comes to promoting, when it comes to branding. The WNBA is almost in they in their 27th season. 27 years. And I have not seen not one person make at least $1 million as an athlete outside of their endorsements, outside of doing sports broadcasting out as a player. We have not seen $1 million player in the WNBA. We have not seen it.
Let me ask you a question, right? WNBA, do they got All-Star Weekend?
Yes, they do.
Are females in the male All-Star Challenge on Saturdays?
I don't know. Now I know they have all. I don't know. I don't think the males are in the females All-Star Weekend, but I think the females are in the male All-Star Weekend.
The male
I think
skills
it's
challenge, right? The man skills challenge, right? With the skills challenge joint.
Yeah, the skills challenge, right?
Yeah, I feel like for one, it's been what 27 years.
27 years.
NBA, I'm calling you out, right? Because I feel like the only reason I haven't seen a player in the millions brackets from lack of support from the NBA. You know, lack of support from the NBA given to the WNBA. I felt like soon as you put that first female on the skills challenge on y'all All-Star Weekend, that was enough. That's enough to pay them all millions, because now y'all just put them in a different bracket. Y'all inviting them to y'all All-Star Weekend, you know?
Right.
I feel like if the WNBA has NBA behind that W, then we should have NBA salaries. It should be no reason that a female in the WNBA could get out the NBA and find a job that pays more than what she was getting paid playing basketball.
And why you think a lot of college basketball players that's women right now did not leave college basketball? Because they're getting paid more in NIL deals than they are in the WNBA.
With
Let's keep it real.
With
Angela
the female
Reese could have came out this year out of LSU. She decided to stay because she's getting paid $3 million in NIL deals.
Like, I don't know, man. Like, and this is and for real, it's to me, it's like I get aggravated with it anyway, because like I feel like just disrespectful to women's athletes. It's disrespectful to the women athletes. It's disrespectful to the work and the grind that females had to put in just to get any type of notification, any type of like recognition from anybody in male sports, you know. And I think it's time we got to end that. We really have to end that, yo. These female athletes, they deserve better. They deserve better marketing, better everything. You know, I should be able to go to a shoe store and be like, yo, I'm probably about to pick these LeBrons up, but hell no. Them motherfucking Reese's is fire. I should be able to go to a shoe store, and be able to pick up some Angela Reese's. You feel me?
And the only person you can say that really did that was Cheryl Swoops when it came to Nike. Yeah. When it comes to Adidas, when you come to Adidas, you got Candace Parker. I mean, Candace Parker has the Adidas deal, but when it comes to Nike, you had Air Swoops. I remember those. I had a pair.
Oh yeah, I had a pair too. I had to buy
Air Swoops.
I had to buy them in a bigger size because they was in like female sizes and shit.
Yeah, they were in bigger sizes, right?
Yeah, but they was fire though. They was fire. You wouldn't known if I didn't tell you though. Yeah, they was
right. Because I remember when they made the Air Swoops and they made them look like the Jordan 13s a little bit. I remember those. They wasn't the first Air Swoops, but they were I think there was a second wave of the Air Swoops, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, like when it comes to women's sports, yes, MLS, they fought for it. They fought for their money when it came to soccer. Now it's time for the WNBA and the collective bargaining agreement and the commissioner to go to the NBA. Like, listen, NBA is $1 billion company. They make mad money. It's time to put some of that money and invest more into the WNBA, because the WNBA, but as I've known now, they starting to make more this year, which is still not enough for me, because these guys could go on private jets and private commercial planes while WNBA got to fit in with the rest of the world and travel like regular people. Like what?
I hate that, bro. Like, I hate that, bro. Like, I hate the disrespect of female athletes. And I think that we got to let that go now. For real. We got to let go what our mind was brainwashed for years. That females can't do this and females can't do that. Because if that was true, we wouldn't have female officiating. We wouldn't have female commentating. These females are just important
as the men
in sports as the men. Just important. You know, as the man. Now, I ain't saying when these female athletes get like a $500 million contract.
No, we're not saying that.
We ain't saying that. You feel me? But they should at least they need to be in the millions, bro. They need to be in the millions.
For me, I'll be satisfied with like 5 or 6 million. I'll be satisfied with that. If you have a league for 27 years that never shut down, and your league is not, and your players is not in the millions, something's just not adding up. It's not adding up.
It's not, yo.
It's not adding up. It's not adding up at all, man. So hopefully the women's game could definitely get up there, because people didn't even know about the draft. The draft was last week. I watched the draft, and and to see a lot of players go into the league coming out of South Carolina and all these other places, their dreams are finally coming true. And you still got players that's in the WNBA right now still got to go overseas and play ball just to make ends meet when the season is over. Like Candace Parker got to work 365. Like sometimes she's on TNT. She's on NBA TV sometimes. She has to work consistently because it's not making real money in the WNBA, even though she's been there that long, but she's making more money as a broadcaster than she is as a player. Honestly. Because we see more women's players getting into the broadcasting booth now.
I ain't gonna lie, that's frustrating for me. I ain't gonna lie. That's why I hate that with the passion, bro. That's frustrating for me, bro. Like, for real. It's been like that for a while. Like, the disrespect to female athletes, or not even just female athletes, any female that's in the sports world that quote unquote supposed to be male dominant.
Right.
You know? Like,
agreed.
Like,
agreed, 100%.
Besides football and hockey, what other sports that males have that females don't have? Because I do believe it's female hockey. It should be.
They do. They do have. They have it in college. They don't have it at they might have it as a professional sport, but don't get me the Lion. But I know it's in college. I know it's in college, and I do watch, college softball as well. College softball is really interesting to watch.
I've been
They
watching
be
college
they,
softball for about the last 7 years.
they be listen. That
Yeah.
people think the overhand is just as hard. The overhand is just as hard as underhand pitching. I'm sorry to say, it is.
Nah, I'm sorry. yeah.
That underhand pitching, and you got the way you got to wind that up.
Now they be like, whoa, and then hey, shout out for real, shout out to the college softball for real. Hey, shout out to all female athletes, yo, for real, yo. Dead ass.
Right,
if I had $1 billion, I'd pay y'all. How about that? If I had $1 billion, I'd pay y'all. For real.
All right, so last topic of the day, man. The first pick in the NFL draft. The Carolina Panthers select.
I think it's kind of obvious.
You think it's kind of obvious? You just should have said the name, bro. Who you think? You really think it's CJ Stroud? You think it's CJ Stroud at number one?
I kind of think so. I think so. With Carolina, I kind of think so.
I don't want CJ Stroud to go to Carolina. I just don't want him.
I don't either. I don't either. I don't either.
And I said this on many of shows. I don't know if you heard it, but I have an issue with Ohio State quarterbacks. I really do.
My issue with Ohio State quarterbacks,
like Alabama, and the last couple of years, I can say Alabama quarterbacks has been getting better. But in the past, if you would look more in the past, though, Alabama quarterbacks don't succeed in the NFL. Ohio State quarterbacks don't succeed in the NFL. So that's why I'm kind of nervous for CJ Stroud and Bryce Young, because these two quarterbacks, Alabama, Ohio State, they could probably be 1 and 2. It's gonna be high expectations for both of these quarterbacks, and I'm really nervous about them.
Yeah,
really nervous about them too.
Yeah, and I mean, just like, let me see, Carolina, they one of the few teams that do need a quarterback.
It's not many teams that need one.
Yeah, like I think a lot of other people are looking just for somebody a backup, something. I think maybe Pittsburgh. Maybe Pittsburgh might be searching for something. Tennessee, but I mean, Carolina.
I think Pittsburgh's going to stick with Kenny Pickett, though.
Because Carolina, I really don't know what their direction is. Kind of, I mean, they let go of DJ Moore, then you get Adam Thielen.
They traded DJ Moore.
I'm not really understanding where they coming from with it, but I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised if they go get. If the Texans go get Bryce Young, I would not be surprised at that, because a lot of I think there's a few teams that's like on a borderline looking for a quarterback can kind of move up, because Arizona's number 3, and we see a few teams make calls about their number 3 spot. So I can see I don't want CJ Stroud to go to Carolina, but that might be the pick for him. Bryce Young goes to the Texans. I can see the Colts moving up 1 slot to go get Anthony Richardson at 3.
Mm-hmm.
The Colts need a quarterback. They desperately need a quarterback more than anybody in his top 5. I'm sorry to say. They need a quarterback more desperately. I wouldn't be surprised if the Colts will call Carolina and move up to number 1 to get CJ Stroud. Now, I would love for CJ Stroud
to go over to the Colts.
Then go to Carolina.
Because for real, I think he would run that division. I think he'll go over there to the Colts show. For real, if you look at the Colts or whatever, that's why I kind of wanted Lamar Jackson to go over there. Because, that's your best bet. You go over there, you're just completely dominate that division. For real.
I would not be surprised if Lamar Jackson is traded in this draft. I would not be surprised.
I'm gonna laugh.
Listen, I'm doing the draft. I'm gonna be on the other channel doing the draft. So if you want to come up and pull up for that first round, because I know it's gonna be a lot of trades in this first round. I know it is.
I'm curious to see what we're gonna do. A lot of people think we're gonna go for a cornerback, but I think we're gonna go a different direction considering who our offensive coordinator is now. And this is just like my opinion, right? So if I'm EB, right, And I'm coming into a team where the defense really ain't that bad. It's just the offense got to tighten up, you know. And I'm coming from a team like Kansas City. Don't get me wrong, we definitely need a cornerback, you know, but that's the situation that we need every year, you know. But even with us needing a cornerback, our defense is still okay, you know. I think EB is, I mean, he might pull Atlanta and go tight end first. Just because, like, we kind of
it's a good tight end draft too.
Yeah, like we desperately need a tight end.
Now for my Raiders, we need a lot. We need a whole damn defense at this point. Offensively, they talked about us moving up to number 3 to get a quarterback. I understand why they doing it because of Jimmy Garoppolo and his injury prone self. We really don't have any security after him. If we do, we got Brian. We signed Brian Hoyer, but I don't want him to be the successor of Jimmy Garoppolo. Like let's just keep it a buck.
Put like this. Put like that. Brian Hoyer is not going to come in doing what Geno Smith did.
Exactly. Like I just don't see that happening. And people think like the Raiders should move up to number 3 to get a quarterback. If they do, people are high on Anthony Richardson. I'm not high on him. I'm sorry to say I am not high on Anthony Richardson, and I'm gonna say why. He's getting too much hype like Jamarcus Russell. He's getting too much hype like Jamarcus Russell. And if we move up to number 3 to get Anthony Richardson, is Jamarcus Russell all over again, but just as a backup. And I watched him at Florida. And don't get me wrong, the guy is a raw talent, but the word raw gives me 2 to 3 years to develop in this league. Jimmy Garoppolo goes down this year. We're stuck with Anthony Richardson that has raw talent. Do I really want to go with that and Brian Hoyer? Like I really don't. But if we're going to move up to get a Stroud or a Bryce Young. I don't want Will Levis. I think Will Levis is garbage. I don't know why people got him high on the draft boards. I think he's hot garbage. I watched him play in the SEC. He got spanked by my Tennessee Volunteers. But I understand why. He's getting all the hype because Hendon Hooker tore his ACL. Now, if this was Hendon Hooker, my guy would never tore his ACL. He might would have been the number 1 pick over CJ Stroud.
Out of the 2 quarterbacks, which one do you think fits y'all the most? CJ or Bryce?
Out of Bryce Young and CJ Stroud? I'm going to say CJ Stroud. He played in a more pro-style offense at Ohio State. So I'll say CJ Stroud will fit more for what Josh McDaniels wants instead of, Bryce Young. I'm clearly kind of nervous about Bryce Young, even though he's short and he's skinny as hell. But look at Drew Brees. Drew Brees was short and skinny coming out of Purdue. Look at the career he had. So as long as long as Bryce Young don't pull a Kyler Murray, I'm good. I'm good.
I know that's right.
Yeah. Everybody went out of Arizona at this point.
Yeah.
We see Buda Baker said that he wants out.
I can see my man going to daggone Kansas City.
Who, DeAndre Hopkins?
For some reason, I don't know why. I just see it. Just because they don't like the only receiver they have now is Kelsey.
Don't say that.
Hey, but you know what? You spoke on the trade situation, right, with Lamar, right?
Right.
I swear, because I keep seeing this team. I think San Francisco gonna try to pull some shit
and go get Lamar Jackson.
I don't know why, bro. I keep seeing something about San Francisco or something, and I'm like, yo, they bet not, because for one, that's cheating. I feel like that's cheating. You can't have Lamar, McCaffrey, Kittle, daggone Samuel, Ayuk. You can't have all of them on the same squad, bro. Like that's kind of cheating. With Shanahan's style of offense, that's 100% cheating. But they keep talking about.
That's one thing I can say about Shanahan. No matter who is his quarterback, they're going to succeed as in the 49ers. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter who it is, man. And I'm kind of happy that the Raiders fans got it out their head. We're not getting Lamar Jackson. Stop it. We're not doing it. We're not trading for Jamar. We're not trading for Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, Washington. Like we already said nah.
Everybody that like requests a trade or comes a free agent. Oh, is the Raiders going to go get them? Josh McDaniels ain't stupid. He's not going to go get everybody.
Notice the teams that everybody mentioned at first. All of us said no. The Raiders, Atlanta, Washington. Everybody said no. Like, nah, y'all got it.
Yeah, man. Like we, as a Raiders fan, man. Like even now, Buda Baker requests for a trade. Oh, Buda Baker to the Raiders? No, we ain't got the money for Buda Baker. The type of money that he wants, we ain't got. We got 12 draft picks this year. We got to pay them motherfuckers. So 12 draft picks and two of them, I think two of them is in the first and second round. Yeah, we're going to have to pay them people. So
Is this a year where, or was that last year? Don't Philly got quite a few draft picks?
Yeah.
I think this is a year when they got a crazy amount of draft picks.
They got like 8 or 9. They got like almost 10 draft picks, if I'm not mistaken, due to a lot of trades that they did with the AJ Brown and the Darius Slay trade.
They in a position to trade for one of those running backs.
Yeah. But I think Zeke is a free agent. And if Dalvin Cook is cut, he's a free agent. Instead of trading, you could really get them off the market. That'd be the best part.
That's the best part. Yeah, that's the best part. Yeah, that's definitely the best part.
But the time is up here at the Darion Hopkins Show. The 2 hours is past, ladies and gentlemen. My brother Mo comes up here and he bless us with his presence, man. If you could be on here every day, I would love for it to be on here, man.
I'm gonna be real, right? Because I work from the crib, right?
Right.
My hours, I clock in once you clock in. I clock in for work when you clock in for the show. So a lot of times, I like literally damn near every morning I be viewing your show. But the thing is, I work for Verizon taking calls and shit like that. So goddamn, I can't really say too much and shit. You feel me? So like, but a lot of times, bro, like I literally be sitting here bored as hell, working on the clock, just sit here chilling, like, yo, and I ain't got ESPN. I ain't gonna put no ESPN on TV. So I say, let me see what man D talking about. Let's see what's going on in the sports world.
Right, I try to give all the the facts and everything, all the topics every day for now on, man. I'm doing this full time now, and it was time, man. I was in the hospital for 5 days, and the job was.
How you feeling now? How you feeling now?
I'm feeling relieved. Actually, I'm feeling relieved. That's why I said I gotta make some phone calls. Got to call some doctors and get some things up to date. But as far as my physical feeling, is good. Mm-hmm. Physical feeling is good. So. Still, health is wealth at the end of the day. And, that job, it was a good promotion, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, it wasn't good for my health. So
Exactly. So your health comes first before anything.
Exactly, man. But
yeah, man.
I want to thank my brother for coming on to the show, man.
I appreciate coming here rocking with y'all.
Times again, man.
I kind of got to answer. I got to answer a quick question out. Hey, Anthony, I don't know if you still, was it Anthony that said, I don't know if you still on here watching, man, but hey, no, it was somebody else. They said, I know he's happy about the Dan Knight that sold the team, right? So look, right,
here we go.
It was week 3 or week 4. I think it was week 4. If you can remember the Spotlight Sports Talk morning show, and Washington had to play Tennessee that week, right? And I sat there and said on that show, Snyder, Rivera, If you knew what the fans wanted, you would sold the team. You would have woke up this morning and sold the team. Check me out. I burnt my Redskin flag and everything. I would not. I would not support that team with no Carson Wentz and Dan Snyder. And you see what they heard my frustrations. We got rid of Wentz, Snyder. Hey, look, Magic Johnson. Anything you touch turns gold. I'm with you, boy. Anything you touch turns gold. I'm with you for real. I don't even care if we go. I don't care if we go 0-17 to us. To us, we won the Super Bowl already. For real, because that's what we wanted.
All I'm going to say to Dan Snyder, I'm happy that you going too, because you got rid of my John Gruden when John Gruden was trying to turn his team around at a bad time. So, yeah, you snitched on my coach, Dan Snyder, so screw you. Screw you. I'm happy you sold the team.
Yeah, because if you ain't sold the team. Snyder, if you ain't sold the team, boy, you probably would have seen me in a Dallas jersey this year.
Not a what?
Respectfully, disrespectfully. You probably would have seen me in a Dallas jersey this year. Respectfully, disrespectfully.
But again, y'all, the Darion Hopkins show is definitely in the books, man. This will be an audio podcast on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts. You will definitely hear all the latest topics and stuff. We will be doing the live play-by-play and reactions of the Philadelphia 76ers and the Brooklyn Nets and the Golden State Warriors and the Sacramento Kings. I will be back on here for those two live play-by-play and reactions. So
if y'all on Instagram, check out the clips my man be dropping from the shows on the Instagram. You know, don't just like and share and subscribe on here, you know, but we definitely need to support on all social media platforms, yo. So like, share, subscribe on that one too, right?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. The grind is real. And I'll see y'all back here at 7:30, man. It's going to be really, really fun to see my Sixers blow out these Brooklyn Nets. But I ain't going to throw too much trash talking, because, you know, it's the NBA. You never know what happens. You never know what happens. So thank y'all so much for tuning in. We're signing off here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm out. Comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social media platforms. And just to let y'all know, if y'all do want to go over to SeatGeek and go to any live events, any sporting events, make sure you use that promo code DHopkins to get your first $20 off on your first purchase on SeatGeek. Use the promo code DHopkins. We out of here, y'all. Peace.